Thanks for watching Peachytale. I really appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more amazing stories. In my previous life, my legitimate sister married into the royal family. After becoming pregnant, she was overjoyed and deliberately wrote a letter inviting me to the mansion to show off. But when I woke up again, I found myself in the prince's bed. He frowned at me. "Since you've become mine, stay in the mansion as my concubine." Only then did I realize that after my sister became pregnant, she worried about other women being around the prince, so she schemed to use me to secure her position. But while the prince and his side consort were away, she falsely accused me of having an affair with a stable boy and had me beaten to death behind Prince Adrian's back. My soul wandered, watching Sophia Shen eventually become the empress. Watching my poor mother, who went mad after my death, I was unwilling to accept this fate, my deep resentment preventing me from reincarnating, forced to watch Sophia Shen's triumphant life. When I woke up again, I had returned to the day I first entered the mansion. Mother Chen frowned at the gaudy clothes the Grand Madam had sent over and placed on the bed. "Your sister is pregnant. How can you wear such flashy makeup and clothes? Mother has no other wishes, only hoping you can marry an ordinary person and live a peaceful life." But looking at the Grand Madam's intentions, Mother's continuous voice by my ear brought me back to my senses. I looked around. The moldy walls, shabby furniture, warped windows and doors all reminded me that I had returned to before entering the mansion. In my previous life, when my legitimate sister Sophia Shen married Prince Adrian during her pregnancy, the Grand Madam only said that Sophia was homesick due to her condition and had written a letter wanting me to enter the mansion to care for her. Seeing Mother's worried expression, I couldn't help but cry, hugging Mother tightly as tears fell continuously. Mother worriedly asked what was wrong. I shook my head without speaking. The matter of revenge, I alone need to remember. Mother was originally a maid beside the Grand Madam, and it was she who pushed her onto Father's bed, making her his concubine, but Mother was naturally kind-hearted and always stayed quietly in her corner. I took the clothes from Mother's hands, my eyes dark, and said softly, "The Grand Madam did this deliberately. Mother, you and I cannot resist." Mother's eyes became heavy, showing a trace of despair. "But if you become someone's concubine, you can never hold your head high for the rest of your life." "I'll go beg the mistress. I'd rather have you marry into a poor family as a proper wife than become a concubine." In my previous life, Mother knelt outside the Grand Madam's door for 2 days and nights but couldn't change her mind. I rushed out to stop Mother. "Mother, don't go. Your daughter is willing to make this trip to the mansion. Besides, Sophia Shen has a narrow temperament. She might not agree with the Grand Madam's plan." These words were merely to comfort Mother. Precisely because of Sophia's narrow nature, she quickly disposed of me after giving birth to her eldest son. Mother frowned, but regarding this matter, I interrupted her. "Daughter is willing to try once." Mother wasn't favored, and though reluctant to give up, she had no other choice but to watch worriedly as I boarded the carriage heading to the mansion. Shen County was far from the capital. In my previous life, the horses ran non-stop to bring me to the capital, and on my first day in the mansion, I was drugged by Sophia and sent to Prince Adrian's bed. Because when Prince Adrian returned from the battlefield, he wasn't alone. He brought back an orphaned girl. Sophia felt threatened, which is why she wanted me in the mansion. After I woke up, before I could regain my senses, I was embraced by Prince Adrian. Still wanting to engage in those romantic affairs, I struggled for a while before becoming clear-headed. Prince Adrian frowned, deep in thought, while I huddled in the corner of the bed, sobbing continuously. At this moment, Sophia rushed in and without distinguishing right from wrong, slapped me hard across the face, looking utterly heartbroken, and said, "You really are my good sister." She looked at Prince Adrian, crying like rain. "Your Highness, although my sister has no shame, I cannot ask your Highness to take her in as a concubine. Since my sister has lost her virtue to your Highness, returning home would mean death anyway. I beg your Highness to care for my sister." I was about to explain when Sophia glared at me, mouthing a warning not to forget Mother was still in the mansion. Sophia saw Prince Adrian remain silent and felt anxious. "This scheme isn't very clever. You can see at a glance that I was framed." But Sophia's words just now, first preserved the prince's dignity, and second showed her own generous nature. Outsiders would only say I was shameless, taking advantage of my sister's pregnancy to climb into her husband's bed. Prince Adrian only said coldly, "Since she's already mine, let her stay in the mansion as a concubine." The carriage stopped in a small alley beside Prince Adrian's mansion. Luna hurriedly ran over to report, "Miss, I found some beggars to spread the news outside." I looked at the mansion gates looming like a beast before me, took a deep breath and walked forward. Sophia had already instructed the guards. So after verifying my identity, Luna and I were brought into the mansion. Upon meeting, Sophia immediately came forward intimately, taking my hand and pretending, "Oh my, sister really came. I married far away, and it's not easy to return home. I really miss everyone. How is mother?" I nodded accordingly, whispering softly in response, "Mother and father are all well, they just always miss you, sister." Sophia's face suddenly showed sadness, as if our relationship had always been good. In reality, at the Shen estate, I was the second daughter, only treated slightly better than Sophia's personal maids. The grand madam was strict, and if mother hadn't been personally delivered to father's bed by her, and had no ambitions, she probably couldn't have lived peacefully. As for a second daughter like me, I grew up serving beside my legitimate sister Sophia, no different from the other maids. Sophia chatted with me continuously, reminiscing about old times, until a maid came to report. Sophia's expression instantly turned unpleasant. She waved her hand and ordered the maid to take me to the sky courtyard. It seemed news of Prince Adrian saving a beautiful woman on his way back to the city had reached Sophia's ears. Next was just waiting quietly. As twilight fell, Prince Adrian returned to the mansion. Sophia only ordered someone to bring me a bowl of hot soup. Rose, the trusted maid beside her, had an arrogant expression and contemptuous tone. "Second, miss," the princess said, "the prince just returned. Wait until tomorrow. Let the prince rest well, then you can pay your respects." Like mistress, like maid, Sophia never liked me, her sister, so Rose naturally had no goodwill toward me either. After speaking, she turned and left without any respect. Luna was so angry she wiped tears aside. "Miss, this is really too much." I looked at her indifferently. "What are you crying for?" "Silly girl, I don't feel anything." Luna pouted. "I just can't stand seeing Miss suffer injustice, and from a mere maid like her." I knocked on Luna's head, coaxing her. "All right, don't be upset anymore. The maids besides sister naturally wouldn't dare be cold to us. Go to sleep quickly." After comforting Luna, I looked at the dark red-hot soup before me and drank it all without hesitation. When I woke up again, my stiff muscles ached all over. Indeed, just like in my previous life. Sophia had already arranged for people to hide at the doorway, waiting for me to faint before carrying me to the bed, where Prince Adrian had already been drugged. My body felt like it had been run over by a carriage. I cried out softly in pain. Moving quietly, Prince Adrian woke from my small movements. Seeing me, his eyes widened with suspicion. She also pretended to be shocked, looking at Prince Adrian with astonished eyes. Then, as if remembering her situation, my eyes filled with tears. Prince Adrian surveyed the surroundings and instantly understood. Just as he was about to comfort me, Sophia burst in with people, gnashing her teeth. "You really are my good sister." Then, just like in the previous life, she was grieved, generous, and forgiving, asking Prince Adrian to take me as a concubine. But what was different this life was that I wasn't just Prince Adrian's concubine. I was also his life-saving benefactor. Right from the start of this journey, I had arrived 2 days early, right at the place where Prince Adrian was injured and fell off the cliff in his previous life. Calculating the time, I managed to save him. At the bottom of the valley, Prince Adrian and I spent peaceful days together, but I was always melancholy. A beauty in tears, especially a life-saving benefactor. How could Prince Adrian not feel pain? He once said he would take me back to the capital and not let me suffer injustice, but I only smiled reluctantly without responding. When he had almost fully recovered, Luna and I quietly left. Meeting again under the bright moon would only be more dramatic. Prince Adrian was immersed in the fact that I was his savior, completely ignoring Sophia, only looking at me excitedly with a gentle tone. "That day you left without a word. I never thought you'd come to the capital. You said we were destined to have no fate together, but now it seems our fate runs very deep. We must live together." Prince Adrian excitedly held my hand. I secretly glanced at Sophia's shocked expression. Feeling extremely satisfied inside, she wanted to control me in her palm. If I were just an ordinary concubine with whom Prince Adrian had no deep feelings, I couldn't escape Sophia's oppression. But now, who knows? I just silently shed tears without responding. Seeing my sorrow, Prince Adrian's tone became even gentler. Vivian, what's wrong? Sophia stood aside, gripping her handkerchief tightly, her expression strained. Your Highness, Vivian is my younger sister. I missed my family and deliberately wrote a letter asking my sister to come to the capital. But I never expected my sister to shamelessly seduce your Highness. Prince Adrian's expression turned somewhat cold after hearing this. Back then, he wanted to bring me to the capital, but I knew my fate wasn't mine to decide. Prince Adrian secretly asked Luna, and following my instructions, Luna naturally told him I couldn't make my own decisions. By now the drugs in his system had worn off, his mind becoming clear, naturally understanding there were hidden circumstances. Looking at Sophia with an unpleasant expression, if not for the child in Sophia's belly, he probably wouldn't let this matter rest. Vivian and I have long been acquainted. I originally wanted to bring Vivian to the mansion, but she didn't agree. Now I should thank the princess. Hearing this, Sophia's face turned deathly pale. These words from Prince Adrian clearly showed he knew everything. She gripped the handkerchief tightly in her hands, almost tearing it apart, but still had to say, Your Highness speaks too highly. If your Highness had intentions toward my sister early on, taking her as a concubine wouldn't be improper. Prince Adrian waved his hand to cut her off, looking deeply at me with eyes full of smiles. Vivian doesn't want to be a concubine. I'll petition His Majesty to make Vivian my side consort. I looked up at Prince Adrian in shock, my eyes showing surprise, gratitude, and joy. Only then did I seem to notice Sophia still standing nearby, my body trembling slightly. I lowered my head, tears falling onto Prince Adrian's palm. No, Vivian's status is too lowly to be your Highness's side consort. Sophia couldn't help but exhale in relief. Your Highness, my sister is just a second daughter. Being your Highness's seventh concubine is already reaching high. Side consort truly goes against propriety. Prince Adrian's face turned ashen with anger. He didn't respond to Sophia, only speaking coldly. The princess is pregnant and should focus on nurturing the baby. These matters don't require the princess's concern. Sophia wanted to say more, but Prince Adrian looked at her with sharp eyes so cold she dared not speak further. After Sophia left, Prince Adrian held me in his arms, gently wiping the tears from my face. He looked at me, his eyes full of pity and fear. Vivian, fortunately you came back to me. I dare not think if not for these circumstances, the person beside you would be someone else. That day Luna said you couldn't decide for yourself. I only felt heart-touch, but when you suddenly left, thinking back now, I was truly afraid. I lay in Prince Adrian's embrace, my eyes bright but my voice trembling violently. If I had known it would be you, why would I have run away? These past days, thinking I couldn't see you again in this life, Vivian felt like her heart was being cut by knives. But I'm just a lowly second daughter who can't protect mother. Forced to obey my mother and sister's words, I gently raised my head, trying to suppress my sobs, but tears still couldn't stop falling. Fortunately heaven took pity, and your Highness and I could meet again. Vivian is already satisfied, daring not ask for more. I lowered my head, leaning against Prince Adrian's shoulder, my voice like a whisper. This is good enough. Now Vivian is very satisfied. At this moment, Prince Adrian felt the deep affection between us. Seeing me so pitiful, his heart ached immensely. He held me comfortingly. Vivian, don't be afraid. I'll handle these matters well. Vivian, I'll also ask father to take good care of your mother. Vivian, are you unsatisfied with the position of side consort? I looked up at him, unable to suppress the soreness in my eyes as tears flowed out. Prince Adrian panicked, flustered, hurriedly coaxing me. Vivian, don't cry. I'll enter the palace to ask father to grant us marriage. Does Vivian want to be my princess? I shook my head. Seeing Prince Adrian's pained expression, I said softly, Sister is the princess, and she's pregnant. She's done nothing wrong. Your Highness shouldn't hurt sister because of me. Vivian willingly accepts being side consort. As soon as these words were spoken, Prince Adrian excitedly hugged me and spun around several times, his eyes full of joy. I smiled slightly, shyly lowering my head. Being side consort means being recorded in the royal genealogy, no longer a status that Sophia could easily bully. As for the position of princess, now that Prince Adrian loves me, he would naturally disregard everything to make me princess. But first, Sophia wasn't wrong and was pregnant. If he dismissed her without cause, Prince Adrian's reputation would be ruined. Second, men's feelings ultimately have no guarantee. When feelings cool, everything he does for me now will become reasons for him to blame me later. Prince Adrian couldn't wait to enter the palace to petition, using his military merits to ask His Majesty to grant me the title of Prince Adrian's side consort. When Sophia heard this news, she suffered a miscarriage scare. I didn't visit her but wholeheartedly served Prince Adrian. Prince Adrian liked weak women who placed him above all else. These days I diligently made snacks and tea for Prince Adrian. Of course, I made portions for Sophia too, whether she threw them away or didn't eat them. I didn't care. Everything I did was very skilled and natural. Prince Adrian watched me holding my hand with Hartek. Vivian is after all the second miss. Why do these things seem so familiar to you? I smiled. These are things I willingly do. Luna stood up. Your Highness, our side consort wasn't favored at home. Before the princess married out, even the maids beside her could order our side consort around. Our side consort has lived like a servant since childhood. I looked up at Luna, my tone flustered. Luna, stop talking. These are things I should do. Prince Adrian closed his eyes and held me in his arms. He couldn't bear to think that the one he held dear had suffered so much since childhood, treated like a maid. From now on, no one would dare treat her this way again. I was moved to tears, looking at Prince Adrian with intense loving eyes. Prince Adrian was the emperor's third son. Although seemingly neglected by the emperor on the surface, he was actually greatly favored. Even Prince Adrian's marriage to Sophia was because the Shen family had no foundation. Prince Adrian had no help from his wife's family, and he deliberately hid his talents, so among the princes, he wasn't prominent. If I hadn't been reborn, who could have thought that the one who eventually ascended the throne would be this unremarkable prince? Sometimes extreme love has enough power. Seeing that I didn't come to see her, Sophia ordered someone to summon me to serve her. I entered the courtyard and took the initiative to kneel down, paying respects to her. Only when the sun was high did Rose come out, rolling her eyes and calling me inside to serve. Sophia smiled sinisterly. Little sister has real ability, indeed just like your lowly mother, shameless. I looked at Sophia angrily. The princess is dissatisfied with me. But why did my mother become a concubine? I think the princess must know. The grand madam and sister truly are mother and daughter, equally shameless in their actions. Sister got what she wanted by becoming His Highness's woman. What else is sister dissatisfied about? Sophia's eyes widened in shock, probably not expecting me to resist her, breathing heavily with anger. You have great audacity. Indeed raised by that lowly woman, so ill-mannered. Today I must teach you a lesson. I stood up and looked at Sophia mockingly, my tone extremely smug. I am now His Highness's beloved. Sister, do you dare touch me? Sophia was breathless, screaming continuously. Lock her in the courtyard. Make her kneel for 4 hours before she can stand up. I struggled and refused, but was forcefully pressed to the ground. My knees suddenly hit the hard ground. The pain suggested they must be bruised. In my previous life, Sophia beat me and even broke a jade vase as evidence to frame me, making me kneel under the scorching sun. Back then I wasn't favored. Even if Prince Adrian knew, how could he make his pregnant princess uncomfortable for a mere concubine like me? Kneeling for 4 hours, my knees swelled unbearably. Sophia didn't even give me a chance to rest, causing me to have a limp in my previous life, walking with difficulty. But this time I won't endure it. Luna beside me was so anxious she cried aloud. Side consort. What should we do now? Should I go find His Highness? I looked at Luna to comfort her. Silly girl, don't cry. I won't kneel for too long. I had made chicken soup early in the morning, deliberately letting him see it while Prince Adrian hadn't left yet. Calculating the time, it was almost noon. Sophia sat under the eaves with 2 young maids on either side fanning her, looking leisurely at me. So what if you've become side consort? I am the legitimate wife, the princess whom His Highness properly married. You will always be beneath me in this life. I looked at Sophia with mocking eyes. That's right. Sister is the legitimate wife, but the one His Highness loves is me. This sentence made her lose control. Sophia trembled with anger all over. You truly are a lowly person who doesn't know life from death. You must have forgotten my methods all these years. Don't forget, your mother is still at the Shen estate. Whether she lives well or not all depends on you. How could I forget? Making me copy scriptures with only 1 candle lit. The clothes of the maids beside my legitimate sister also needed me to wash. Serving Sophia's bath like a maid. Using the excuse of liking the pastries I made, working from dawn to dusk. Sophia would casually give them to beggars on the street to gain a virtuous reputation. These small tormenting methods, Sophia was extremely skilled at. Rose, today is rather stuffy. Side consort must be even more sincere in copying Buddhist scriptures now. Sophia hadn't finished speaking when she was frightened into silence by Prince Adrian's footsteps from outside. Prince Adrian's eyes were cold, his face dark as he looked at Sophia. I didn't know the princess had such excellent methods. The moment Prince Adrian entered, my strength could no longer hold up and I collapsed to the ground. Sophia's eyes bulged, her voice shrill. Your Highness, that lowly person deliberately harmed me. Prince Adrian looked at Sophia disappointedly, holding me in his arms. Princess, I originally intended to make Vivian my primary consort. Sophia fell paralyzed onto the bed, her face drained of all color. Seeing her like this, Prince Adrian continued, but Vivian didn't agree. How could she think of taking your position when you're her sister? She respects you greatly. You're pregnant, and I see clearly how well Vivian treats you. What else are you dissatisfied with? Think carefully. Don't think about going out these days either. Sophia was confined. Prince Adrian carried me out. I struggled to get down and knelt beside Sophia. Princess, this is all my fault. It has nothing to do with my mother. I begged the princess not to make things difficult for her. I cried pitifully. Prince Adrian gritted his teeth even more. Sophia, you used this to threaten Vivian to come to the capital. If that person hadn't been me, Vivian's life would have been ruined. Prince Adrian looked at the woman kneeling on the ground, his heart aching. He couldn't imagine how such a gentle, obedient girl who respected her legitimate sister had endured so much suffering all this time. He frowned, his heart aching like being cut, anxiously saying, Vivian, don't be afraid. I'll send people to protect your mother. From now on, no one will dare to slight you both. He held me up without looking back at Sophia. I leaned on Prince Adrian's shoulder, watching Sophia's lost expression, and curved my lips in a smile toward her. Sophia was so angry she almost fainted. I sat on the bed and lifted my skirt slightly. My slender legs and smooth skin made the purple bruises on my knees even more apparent. Prince Adrian's face was cold as he applied medicine for me, looking displeased. I had no mood to care why his expression was poor, just remaining silent. After a while, Prince Adrian couldn't help himself and looked up at me, his tone somewhat reproachful. Why are you so obedient? She tells you to go and you go. I lowered my head hesitantly and said, she's my sister and the princess. I have no reason not to go. Prince Adrian snorted. I treat you so well, why don't you have more confidence? In the prince's mansion, you can do whatever you want without looking at anyone's face. I'll also assign people to take care of you. He lifted my face, his voice gentle. Vivian, don't be afraid. I'll protect you. I was stunned, my heart heavy. In my previous life when I became his concubine, he didn't mistreat me either. He just didn't love me. Therefore, the suffering I endured under Sophia, he didn't see. Until I died under Sophia's false accusations, perhaps he felt some pain. But ultimately nothing could be changed. I don't blame him, but I also can't continue giving him my feelings. Recently Prince Adrian returned home much less. If I remember correctly, the emperor was about to pass away at this time. In my previous life, the emperor decreed Prince Adrian as crown prince, but was forced to abdicate by the first prince, Prince Charles, cornering Sophia and the side consort from my previous life. Thinking of that woman, I clutched my chest, breathing with difficulty. She was raped to death in this very place. Now that I acted first and saved Prince Adrian, she had no chance to meet him. This could be considered saving her too. Perhaps Prince Adrian had realized something. Both Sophia and I had a team of guards protecting us. The mansion gates were tightly closed, cavalry everywhere on the streets. The common people shut their doors tightly, not daring to go out, but Prince Charles still found a loophole. Sophia and I were kidnapped. Prince Charles looked at us sinisterly and laughed. My younger brother truly has good fortune. Early on he had beautiful wives and concubines as companions, and now he's about to ascend the throne. I wonder between the pregnant princess and this beautiful side consort, how will he choose? Haha. The corner of Prince Charles's mouth smiled, his eyes extremely cold as he stared at Sophia, speaking resentfully. Hang Princess Adrian from a tree, let Prince Adrian grieve from afar. Sophia and I were roughly thrown to the ground. Prince Charles's guards were about to take Sophia away. Sophia's legs went weak, continuously backing away, but she still couldn't escape the guards. Suddenly she saw me and couldn't control her excitement, crying out, "Wrong. You've got the wrong person. She's the one Prince Adrian loves." Sophia's trembling finger pointed at me, madness flashing in her eyes. "Vivian Shen is the one Prince Adrian loves most. Capture her, kill her. Prince Adrian will definitely suffer." Sophia seemed to see me being brutally murdered, becoming even more excited, her face flushing red, staring at me with extreme satisfaction. Prince Charles looked at Sophia's madness with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. "Oh, I heard the side consort is your sister, yet you want to kill her like this." Sophia screamed madly, "That lowly person doesn't deserve to be my sister. Kill her. Better yet, peel off that hateful face of hers. Prince Adrian will definitely be heartbroken to death." "Ha." Prince Charles stepped forward, placing his blade tip on my chin, carefully observing. "Indeed a beauty, but how do I know you're not deceiving me? After all, the pregnant one is Princess Yu." Sophia hurriedly shouted. "Prince Adrian is basically impotent. The child in my belly isn't his." As soon as these words came out, not only Prince Charles but I was also stunned. I unconsciously recalled those intimate nights between Prince Adrian and me. He's impotent. I suddenly remembered in my previous life I had accidentally said the young hair was a bit fairer than Prince Adrian, so that's how it was the child was Sophia's illegitimate offspring. No wonder she was in such a hurry to dispose of me. I struggled to stand up, looking at Prince Charles. Sophia is right. I'm the one Prince Adrian loves. Why don't you use me to threaten Prince Adrian? But I have one thing I want to do. I hope Prince Charles will grant it. Laughter erupted around us. "What qualifications do you have to negotiate conditions with us?" I calmly looked at Prince Charles, speaking indifferently. "Is a chess piece between you and Prince Adrian that hasn't yet served its purpose. Surely Prince Charles doesn't want to see me die." Prince Charles's expression slowed. "What do you want to do?" I looked towards Sophia, enunciating each word. "I want to kill Sophia with my own hands." Prince Charles laughed mockingly. "Interesting." The guards beside him retreated to form a circle, leaving just enough space for Sophia and me. I took the dagger Prince Charles handed over and walked towards Sophia without changing expression. Sophia's face turned deathly pale, cursing loudly. "Vivian Shen, you dare. You lowly person. You'll die a horrible death. You dare kill me. I'm carrying Prince Adrian's flesh and blood. Prince Adrian won't let you go. Didn't you say the child in your belly wasn't Prince Adrian's?" I coldly smiled at her. Sophia fell silent. "It doesn't matter. Whether it's Prince Adrian's child or not doesn't matter. What I want is for you, Sophia, to suffer." I stepped forward. Sophia's face was covered in sweat and tears, finally breaking down and crying loudly. "Don't, Vivian, please don't. We're blood sisters. We should care for each other. Vivian, please forgive me." I shook my head. "No, these aren't the reasons I want to kill you. Sister, don't you know why? I was reborn. In my previous life, Sister ordered me beaten to death." The dagger in my hand traced along Sophia's round belly, frightening her into trembling continuously. Back then I begged Sister for forgiveness just like now, but Sister was so vicious. The child in my belly was as big as Sister's. My poor child didn't even have a chance to be born. But I'm different, I'm more kind-hearted than Sister. Even if Sister dies, I'll let your child come out to see the world. The sound of the dagger cutting through flesh mixed with Sophia's agonized screams. In my mind were images of being beaten to a bloody pulp in my previous life. When I came to my senses, Sophia was dead, her body lying in a pool of bright red blood. I stared at her, a life for a life. I had avenged myself and my unborn child. I looked down at myself, covered in blood. My disheveled hair matted with fresh blood. At this moment, except for the howling wind, everything was eerily quiet, so quiet you could hear blood dripping. Prince Charles looked at me with a horrified expression. I looked at him and smiled faintly. "Now we can go see Prince Adrian." He nodded repeatedly, hesitating before ordering someone to put me in a carriage. Prince Charles sent a message while Prince Adrian was still frantically busy. Only then did he learn his princess and side consort had both been taken. By the time he arrived without strength, I was being held in Prince Charles's arms, a sharp blade pressed against my throat. Prince Adrian was frightened nearly out of his wits, continuously calling out, "Don't hurt Vivian. I'll agree to whatever you want." Prince Charles breathed a sigh of relief, looking at me with strange eyes. You really are Prince Adrian's beloved. I never thought Prince Adrian's tastes were so heavy. I ignored him, only looking at Prince Adrian. The concern in his eyes didn't seem fake. In this life, it seemed he truly had feelings for me. Your Highness, sister is dead. I spoke first. Prince Adrian's expression stiffened, then said, Vivian, as long as you're all right? Elder brother, what do you want before you'll release Vivian? He asked. Without waiting for Prince Charles's response, I said, Your Highness? I killed sister with my own hands, including the child in her belly. Prince Adrian was shocked, then turned an angry face toward Prince Charles. Elder brother, Vivian is just a weak woman. What did you do to force her? He thought I killed Sophia because Prince Charles forced me. Prince Charles couldn't help but roll his eyes. Don't you know your woman's true nature? She's completely insane. Vivian was just frightened. I continued. Your Highness, I'm not the weak woman you think I am. From the beginning, in front of you, I was never my true self. The corners of his lips smiled, his peach blossom eyes filled with my reflection. Vivian, I like every side of you. I probed. If being with me means you have to give up the throne, would your Highness be willing? Prince Adrian pondered for a moment, then put down the sword in his hand. Nothing is more important than Vivian. Prince Charles's guards surrounded Prince Adrian. Prince Charles looked at him with difficulty. This lovesick appearance of yours truly doesn't deserve to inherit the throne. Perhaps feeling close to success, Prince Charles laughed loudly with excitement. Father always favored you. No, let him see how his favorite youngest son is so love-struck, incapable of bearing responsibility. Just as he finished speaking, I took the dagger and stabbed Prince Charles in the chest. Prince Charles's eyes suddenly widened, letting out a scream. Where did you get that dagger? I gently frowned and smiled. Didn't your Highness give it to me yourself? I knew about this at the mansion early on and had already sent word to Prince Adrian. It was also to make Prince Adrian trust me completely without doubt. The guards beside us were all Prince Adrian's trusted men. Prince Charles knew nothing like a fool. This was also why Prince Charles, as the eldest prince, wasn't made crown prince. As a country's ruler, the most important qualities are intelligence and wisdom, clear-headed self-control. Coincidentally, Prince Charles had none of these. Prince Charles was taken away and imprisoned, probably locked in Prince Charles's mansion for life. After the late emperor passed away, Prince Adrian ascended the throne and made me empress. I was the only one in the harem. The ministers were so anxious they wanted their brilliant emperor to select concubines day and night, but were all rejected. Vivian, they're really too hateful. I clearly already have you by my side, yet they insist I select concubines. I lowered my head to water the flowers without looking at him, speaking calmly. They're right. What emperor doesn't have 3,000 beauties in his harem? Adrian's face changed color, clearly unhappy. You're willing to let me select concubines. Vivian, why would you want this? I smiled gently. I am the empress. The emperor and empress aren't ordinary husband and wife. How can I monopolize his majesty and not allow new people? The front court and harem breathe as one. Many ministers' daughters all hope to enter the palace. This is also the simplest way to maintain the front court. As the empress, my duty is to manage the consorts for His Majesty. If I don't advise His Majesty to select concubines, the people and ministers will also develop dissatisfaction with the empress. I explained reasonably, but Adrian didn't believe it was due to being empress but rather his incompetence. As long as I persist, who dares be dissatisfied with Vivian? I'll exile them to the frontier. After speaking, he huffed and turned to leave. Adrian had deep feelings for me, and I was actually somewhat moved, but feelings given are easy, taking them back is hard. Adrian and I continued like this, neither warm nor cold, day after day. He persistently refused to select concubines from beginning to end. Until one day Adrian came running in panic, holding me with one hand. I patted his back, asking softly, "What's wrong?" Adrian stared at me, his eyes red, his expression somewhat panicked. "Vivian, I just had a dream. I dreamed you were just my concubine, and I favored another woman. When you were in the mansion at that time. Died." He didn't dare speak further. "Vivian, is this why you don't love me?" I was slightly surprised, comforting him. "I don't. Not love you." Adrian shook his head, his tone somewhat aggrieved. "I can feel that Vivian truly doesn't have love for me." I fell silent, quietly letting him hold me. "Vivian, did you kill Sophia because you remembered things from the previous life?" He was still probing. Seeing I didn't speak, He carefully pursed his lips, lowering his eyes to hide their depths. Vivian, I wronged you. Looking at him like this, I couldn't help but sigh, patting his head and speaking gently. The matters of the previous life are past. This time, let's start over from the beginning. He suddenly raised his head, excitement flashing in his eyes, nodding heavily. Perhaps I should also let go of the past and continue moving forward. We should both live well. Looking ahead, not looking back. End of story.